On Friday, July 19th, a small group of Exeter High School students, alongside Exeter's Economic Development Director Darren Winham, traveled up to Rochester to have a hands-on conversation with Robert Baldwin of Knox Marsh Development.
One of our partners, John O'Neill, who builds a lot, he reached out and said that there was some people that were interested in taking a look from Exeter High and to take them, through a few of the sites. And I thought probably the best way to show what we do is to do it on site.
The first stop was at a single-family development site off of Autumn Street. Upon arriving, the students were given a tour of the ins and outs of how a project like this gets underway.
I'm running with UNH and with the business EHS students program called a Community Business Engagement, where we're trying to figure out what the town can do to help all Exeter businesses. So we sent out a survey, online survey. The more in-depth part is we meet with certain key businesses face-to-face, and that's what this was today. Learn the industry and what have you, and find out what their, what the stop gaps are, whatever we can do to help. We're doing focus groups, one for manufacturing, one for healthcare, one for downtown. The students are doing intercept surveys, which is man on the street. Well, they'll, excuse me, sir, would you take a 5-minute interview with me? Ask a bunch of questions. So all that will get compiled, all the data is getting compiled. The people at UNH, their big part of it is about 2 months of data crunching. Then they come back to what we have as a steering committee, a group of us. And through all that data, we're going to make recommendations. And then eventually we're going to present it to the select board, and we're going to present it to the town. We're going to have a meeting at town hall, invite people. The kids will get the chance to speak. We'll release the data and say, this is what the steps we're going to do, and here's the order we're going to do them in, and here's the timeline we're going to do them in.
Well, I'm personally interested in engineering. I've done a lot of classes with that. And I did a part of that was architecture. So he was talking about all the different, actually the building of the houses and also the 3D modeling. And I have taken a class for it. So I kind of understood what he was talking about in that sense. So it was cool to see what I've learned in class applied in real life and think about different ways. Oh, it's not just the engineering standpoint. This can also be applied in a more businessy way.
The students became acquainted with industry speak, learning what to know and understand about projects such as these.
Well, I'm really looking for how to start getting into this sort of business. So do you need to do internships, or do you have to go to project sites and ask people if they need help or anything, just how to get started, and if you need to go to college, anything like that. I learned it's a huge process, and it's you really need to network with a lot of people in the area. You have to be very friendly with a lot of people and kind of just know how to save money while also not cheaping out on anything, because it can cause more issues. I learned that I can definitely go to UNH the guy did, and hopefully have a similar job career as he does.
Down the street, a new project in its infancy was the second stop for the group, allowing the students a closer look at some of the tools of the trade.
You're seeing something, face-to-face they've never seen before. Again, Robert was very generous and answered every question we had. So they're seeing a site like this, which is, just initially getting it ready to get to the stage we saw the other side at. They're also learning how to interact with business people. They're getting out of the whole program, interacting with the public. They're going to be able to look at the data themselves, and we're going to have them come to some conclusions, and then they're going to get to present.
The students were then allowed to test drive the excavator on site.
If you can see the process in which something is built, it takes the complexity of it out of it. There's no magic sauce, it's not sorcery, it's really just putting one step in front of the other and carrying it through to the process. Then I think it makes it a little bit easier to understand, especially if you can see it in person. If they get anything out of it, that anybody can do it.
You're kind of building the future. These kids are seeing something that, I think they can see how important it is. Housing is extremely expensive, and so they're seeing this, and so they're experiencing kind of everything like that. The more we know about what the pitfalls are, that list will tell us what we have to do to help them.